Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a makeup tutorial on this look right here. I actually used a bunch of the new holiday products that are currently in store and online at Mecca. Now I don't think I have announced this on my YouTube channel, but if you follow me on Instagram, you are probably aware by now that I was lucky enough to be selected as one of the faces of the Mecca holiday campaign this year. So currently myself, Rowie Singh and Aubrey Bragg, who are two other influencers here in Australia. Our photos are all on the Mecca store windows at the moment. You might have seen our faces on the Mecca Instagram page or in like Mecca email sendouts. We're currently kind of all over the Mecca marketing at the moment, and I just feel so extremely lucky that I get to work with such an amazing brand. For those of you guys overseas, you may not be familiar with Mecca, but here in Australia and as well as New Zealand, Mecca are currently the biggest retailer for skincare, cosmetics, anything to do with beauty. So it's a really big opportunity for me to be a part of the holiday campaign this year, and I'm actually working with Mecca on this video, and I've got another video coming as well where I'm going to be featuring a bunch of the holiday products that are currently in store and online. I've also done a video over on the Mecca channel, and I've also done like an Instagram takeover and just some other fun things as well. So yeah, I'm currently very involved with the holiday campaign and I'm absolutely loving it. Like I said, I feel super grateful to be able to work with Mecca as a brand. I adore them. They have been so extremely generous and amazing to me ever since I started. And yeah, I'm so grateful for this opportunity. So thank you to you guys as well as Mecca, because at the moment I'm on like a bit of a high. I feel like this whole year has just been absolutely incredible, and this is like one of the best ways to finish the year. So yeah, anyways, enough of me rambling and ranting. I feel like that just got really deep and emotional. But moving on to the actual makeup tutorial, this is kind of the star of the show today. I use the Gingerbread palette all over my eyes with a little bit of Stila Shimmering Glow on the center of the lid. And I also used a bunch of the other Mecca holiday products that are currently online and in store as well. So I will leave all of the links to the products that I used today down below. So if you're intrigued by any of them or want to buy them for yourself, you can head down to the description box and all of the information will be in there. But I'm going to stop talking your ears off right now and let's jump straight into the tutorial, which I'm sure is what you're all here for anyway. So I'm going to start off with my eyes today, which I never usually do, but because I'm going to be using some darker colors, and yesterday when I played around with the Gingerbread palette, there was a little bit of fallout. So I just want to be careful and do my eyes first so that I can clean up anything afterwards. So I'm going to prime my eyes using the NARS Tinted Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. I actually love this eyeshadow primer. Usually I use a concealer to prime my eyes, but I've been using this one lately and I really like it. I feel like it adds the perfect amount of coverage and it's the perfect color for my skin tone as well. So I don't know, I really like using this one at the moment. Now, I don't know if you actually need to set eyeshadow primer in place, but it makes me feel a lot better when I do. So I'm going to set my eyelids with this shade here from the Gingerbread Spice palette. This is called Powdered Sugar. This is a little bit lighter than my skin tone, but I feel like the lighter the base shadow is, the more the colors on top will pop. So I'm not too worried about that. So I'm actually going to zoom you guys in a little bit closer for the rest of my eyes, just so that you can see exactly how the shadows perform. Okay, so now that we are super close up and personal, I'm going to take this shade here, which is called Reindeer Paws, and I'm going to place that in my crease using my Sigma E25 blending brush. And I'm going to take that all the way from the outer corner to the inner corner. Because we're going to be doing a halo eye today, we want to keep it really dark on the inner corner as well, just to add that like dimension with the halo. All right, so I know that looks a little bit crazy at the moment, but what we're going to do next is blend that out using the shade Figgy Pudding. And I'm going to pick that up on my Sigma Tapered E35 brush. And I'm just going to use that to blend the edges of Reindeer Paws. Okay, those shades complement each other so well. And they also blend out really, really easily together, which is great because sometimes darker colors can be a bit hard to work with. All right, so next up I'm gonna take this shade here, which is called Looky at My Cookie. And I'm gonna use this to blend out these edges even more. It's gonna end up coming quite high up to my brow bone, but that is okay. I kind of like that look. I like it really smoked out, and I like it to come up a little bit higher because I don't know if you can tell, but when my eyes are completely open, I lose a lot of the space on my lid. So I often like to blend quite high up so that you can still see the gradient that I'm going for. I can't get over how well all of those colors kind of complement each other. I really, really like how that looks. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back in with Reindeer Paws, and I'm gonna take that on a Sigma E30 pencil brush, and I'm gonna pack it onto the outer and inner corner of my eye. And this is when the halo kind of shape starts to form. And as I'm going, I'm just going to continue blending out the edges just to make sure that they don't look too harsh. And then I'm going to take a little bit of Figgy Pudding and place that more towards the center of the eye, kind of mimicking the same gradient that we did in the crease up. We're doing that on the lid inwards, if that makes any sense at all. You don't have to be super, super precise with this step. We just want to make sure that we get the nice kind of gradient and that it looks blended on the edges. This fallout here is the reason I'm doing my eyes first. So for the spotlight in the center of the eyelid, I'm going to use the Stila Shimmer and Glow in the shade Kitten. This shade is my all-time favorite. I'm obsessed with it. Back in the day, I had the Kitten Magnificent Metal, and I also had, I can't even remember what the palette was called, but it was a Stila eyeshadow palette, and it had the eyeshadow shade Kitten in there, and it was my all-time favorite. Like, I used it non-stop, but the mirror in the palette broke, and so glass shattered all throughout the palette, and I was so upset. So anyways, I just got super off track, but I'm gonna use this in the center of my eyelid, and rather than applying it with the applicator, I'm actually going to, you can see I've already got some there from the other eye, but I'm going to put it on the back of my hand and work with it from there. This does dry pretty quickly though, so I'm gonna have to work pretty fast. So I've just got a small detailer brush, and I'm just gonna start right in the center of my eyelid. So I'm bringing it right up into the crease, and essentially what I'm doing is cutting the center of my crease with that product. I'm also just going to keep checking and making sure that they are both even, because the worst thing is when you finish a halo eye and you look at both eyes and like the spotlight is sitting and like a different part of the eyelid, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to keep going back and forth and kind of adjusting it if I feel like it needs to be, but at the moment I think that looks okay. So now I'm going to blend the edges of the spotlight using the same two colors that we used in the crease earlier. So I'm going to go in with Figgy Pudding first, and I'm still just using that pencil brush from earlier as well, and I'm going to use that color first to blend right on the edges of the spotlight. And then just taking a bit of Reindeer Paws to deepen the outer corners again. I think I said outer corners, but I meant outer and inner corner. And then I've just quickly wiped off the excess from that pencil brush, and I'm going to dip that into Looky at My Cookie and place that right on the edge of where Figgy Pudding and Kitten are. Alright, so next up I'm just going to do a tiny, tiny wing on each eye using the Too Faced sketch marker in the color black. And now I'm going to do a little bit of mascara. So I'm going to take my Hourglass Caution Extreme Mascara just on my top lashes for now, and then we'll finish off the lower lash line once the base is done. And now for false lashes, I'm going to go in with the House of Lashes Femme Fatale lashes. Fatale, I don't know how you say it, but I used these recently in another video and I actually really liked how they looked. So I'm going to use them again today. All right, so I'm gonna quickly jump off camera, do my eyebrows, and then we can move on to the base. All right, so now moving on to the base, I'm gonna prime with the Too Faced Hangover Primer. And then for foundation, I'm going to use the Mecca Max Lifeproof foundation. This is in the shade Light Beige number 4. Now that I'm not doing my eyes, I feel like I can talk more. When I do my eyes, I go like completely silent because I'm so busy just concentrating on blending and like, I don't know, it's a small canvas to work on, so my brain has to switch off and just focus on that. But I feel like now that the eyes are done, I can actually sit down and talk to you guys. I love this foundation. I actually forget about it all the time. I have had it for months now, but I just forget to reach for it. And then when I do remember and use it, I'm like blown away by it all over again. I actually cannot believe that it is Christmas in a month. Like, where has this year gone? Like, this entire year just seems like it's flown by. It's absolutely insane. This has probably been one of the best years of my life. And I know that that's a big statement, but in all seriousness, it has been just the best year in so many ways. But yeah, I cannot believe that we're already coming up to the end of the year. Like, that's just insane. I'm so excited for Ben and I to have our first Christmas in our own home. We are actually hosting Christmas this year for our families, which was by choice, but it is going to be a pretty big day. I don't think it's going to be stressful because my mum, she like absolutely loves entertaining people, and she's already gone out and bought things like the Christmas crackers, and she's been sending me like Christmas recipes that I can make on the day. Like, she's totally onto it, and I know that she will probably help me out quite a lot, but it's going to be such a special Christmas this year because we're going to have mine and Ben's family all together at our own like first home on Christmas Day. And I'm just, yeah, I don't know, I feel like it's going to be a really good way to end what's been like a really, really good year. Okay, and now for concealer, I'm going to use Shape Tape mixed with a little bit of Too Faced Born This Way. I really like mixing these two because I feel like Shape Tape on its own can be really, really drying on the skin, and then adding in Born This Way is a little bit more hydrating. So I don't know, I really like the combination of both of them. And Shape Tape has the coverage that I'm after for today because I've done such bold, dark eyes. I want my base to be as flawless as possible. The Born This Way is the shade Fair, and then the Shape Tape is the shade Light, and they both work really, really well together because they're pretty much identical. And then for a little bit of highlight in the center of my face, I'm just going to take the Too Faced concealer. I feel like I don't really need extra coverage in these areas, so I'm going to leave the Shape Tape for now and just use the Born This Way concealer instead. Wow, that nose line is not very straight at all. Oh my goodness. Maybe it'll counteract my not very straight nose. Alright, so I'm going to do a little bit of cream highlight before I set everything in place. So I'm going to go into this bareMinerals Twilight Radiance Palette. This is a cream highlighter trio, and unfortunately this one here I'm not really sure what happened. It looks like it melted, but I'm not going to use that shade anyway. I'm going to use this one here, which is called Luminous Golden. This is one of the holiday products at Mecca at the moment. So I'm just going to pick some of that up onto my ring finger, and then just lightly pat it onto the areas where you would normally highlight. And it just adds a really subtle but beautiful glow to your skin. Oh, so pretty. So now moving on, I'm going to pick up another of the Mecca holiday products for this year. This is the Smashbox Holidaze Contour and Spotlight Palette, and the packaging of this is absolutely insane. Every year, Smashbox absolutely kill it with their holiday packaging. Last year's was really, really cool as well, but this year's I think definitely takes the cake. It is gorgeous. So this is what the palette looks like here. It's got a mixture of contour and highlight shades. It's also got a banana powder as well, which is what I'm actually going to go into to set the center of my face and under my eyes. And then to set the rest of my face, I'm just going to take the NARS pressed powder in the shade Beach. And now to contour, I'm going to go back into this Smashbox Holidaze palette, and I think I'm going to use this middle shade here. This one looks like it had come up a little bit too muddy on my skin. So I'm going to try this one first and I'll see how it looks. Yeah, I like that one. I think the other one definitely would have been a little bit too cool tone. It would have showed up a bit muddy on my skin. So I don't know why. I know that like technically contour shades are supposed to be cooler, but on my skin, I just don't like that. So I prefer to use a warmer color for contouring and bronzing. I'm also going to take a little bit of that up onto my forehead and my temples. Alright, and now I'm going to switch to the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette. This is volume 4, I think. Yes, volume 4. And I'm going to use this shade here in the middle, which is a blush shade called Luminous Glow. I'm obsessed with all of the Hourglass ambient lighting ranges. Like I love the powders, the strobes, the blushes, the bronzer, everything. I love it. So I absolutely love that every year they bring out like a holiday edition and they put it all into one palette because it's so perfect for traveling. It's just so handy to have like all of your favorite powders in the one palette. So I'm pretty in love with this palette already. I've been using it non-stop recently. And then I'm also going to use the highlighting shade from this palette, which is this one right here. It is called Euphoric Strobe Light. It's so beautiful. I'm just going to take that onto my nose to highlight my nose a little bit. My Cupid's bow. A little bit on my chin. You guys know what I'm like. I usually just cover all of the highest points of my face, like wherever the light would naturally hit. That is where I apply my highlighter. I like to look as glowy as possible, which if you're new to my channel, you probably wouldn't know, but if you've been watching me for a while, you know that my obsession with highlighter is real. I'm also going to take a little bit of that onto my brow bone as well and kind of just connect it up with my cheekbone. Okay, so now it is time to finish off the lower lash line. I'm not going to zoom you guys in for this bit just because I feel like, I don't know, the lower lash line isn't too detailed. There's not too much that goes on there. But I'm going to go back into the Gingerbread palette and I'm going to take the shade Reindeer Paws on my Zoeva Brow Line 322 brush. I know that this says it's for the brow line, but it's also good to get in really, really tight into your lower lash line. So I'm just going to pack that on there. And then I'm going to pick up a little bit of Figgy Pudding on a pencil brush and I'm going to use that to smoke out Reindeer Paws. And now to take it one step further and smoke it out even more, I really want to use this shade and I didn't use it on the top of my eye, but I feel like I may be able to get away with it looking okay on my lower lash line. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of this hot pink color here called Gumdrop and use that to just really, really buff and smoke out that lower lash line, and hopefully it adds a little bit of a pop of pink there as well. Okay, that looks really, really cool. I'm happy with that. And then just to finish it all off, I'm going to take Looky at My Cookie on that same brush. This is the Sigma E36, by the way. I think I forgot to mention that before. And I'm just going to use that to blend even more. I kind of wish I used Gumdrop on my eyelid as well, like in my crease, to add even more of a gradient, because I really like how it looks on my lower lash line. Just adds a bit more kind of depth. So if you're recreating this look, feel free to use Gumdrop in the transition as well. It'll add a really, really nice gradient. So I just realized I haven't done an inner corner highlight. So I'm gonna go back into the Gingerbread palette and take the shade Spiked Eggnog and pop that on my inner corner. That ties in so well with Kitten on the eyelid. Okay, so now for lips, I'm going to line my lips quickly using the MAC lip liner in the shade Boldly Bare. And then I'm going to take this Lipstick Queen lipstick in the shade The Whole Truth. This is from the Truth Nudes Holiday Collection set. And then to set all of that in place, I'm going to take the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. And then that, of course, is the finished look. I'm actually really happy with how it came out. I feel like I say that at the end of every makeup tutorial. I wouldn't put it up if I wasn't happy with it, but I'm just really stoked with the eye makeup, if I'm being honest. Like, that Gingerbread palette is so easy to work with, and there's so many different colors in it. You can be really versatile. So this is the third look that I've actually done with that palette, and I absolutely love it. It's still so different from the other 2 looks that I've done. So yeah, it's definitely a really versatile palette. If you haven't got your hands on it already, I would definitely recommend heading into your local Mecca store to snap one up before they're all gone. And while you're there, you may see my face on the windows of Mecca at the moment. So that's also really exciting. If you do happen to see my face, feel free to tag me on Instagram. I absolutely love seeing all of you guys like sending me photos. Some of you have even been taking selfies with my face on the window, which is like absolutely incredible. I freaking love it. So yeah, feel free to tag me in the photos or send them to me on Instagram. I'll leave my Instagram handle right here. If you're not following me already, then you definitely should be. As always, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps out my channel, and we are so close to 100,000 subscribers, which I'm so excited for. I feel like that's such a huge milestone. So if you're not already, feel free to subscribe and become a part of the family, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.
Oh, nah, nah. Just be careful, nah, nah. Love ain't simple, nah, nah. Promise me no promises.